Hello. Happy Saturday, everybody. So, this is the mess I've just made, thinking I was recording. I'm not quite sure what was happening because the screen was moving. I hadn't pressed record, didn't even notice the timer wasn't going. And it's one thing I usually look at all the time when I'm doing this now because it's been so long since I've actually not recorded and thought I was. What I'm doing, okay, let me move this mess not too far because I don't want to take it off the glass. Several people asked me how I made my rusty looking paper clips. This was absolutely Andrea's idea. I'd been doing some with alcohol inks and Andrea said, you want to try patinas? Chuck them in a bag, put the patina in, brilliant, let them dry. So I did. And that's how I made these. So I've just done some, showing you how I did it, and it wasn't recording. And it's my own stupid fault. It's obviously early on a Saturday morning. I've now transferred them all into one bag. So I've got a spare bag here. My glove is now inside out and covered, so I'm going to go gloveless. There's still actually quite a lot of ink in here, but I'm going to show you what I did. When I do the reveal, you'll see everything that... I'll show you that in a moment anyway. So I've got some of these... Whoops daisy. Now I've got less of these Cavalier & Co round paper clips. I don't want to do too many more because I do actually want to keep some silver. I don't want a load of them silver, but I do want some silver. So I'm just going to throw a handful in here. And this is full, so you can see how much I'd actually do if I was doing this first time round. Now, cheap and cheerful paper clips. I'm going to grab a nice big handful of those because I'm quite happy having all of my paper clips this colour, and chuck them into your bag. Now, I would reuse these bags for sure. What I plan on doing is buying some kind of heavy duty plastic lunchbox to do this in on a permanent basis rather than throw bags away. Although these are reusable, but they are sealing ones. You can seal them. So let's chuck a few more in here. Now, let's talk about the patinas. I purchased these from... I'll pop the link if I remember down below. I think it was... Oh, it's no, that wasn't. I'm not sure. I'm not sure where they come from. Anyway, all you've got to do is put in Ranger Patina and you will find them. They didn't have the colours I wanted. I wanted to get... There's a set with a rust colour and a green in. Verdigris, I think it's called. But they didn't have that set in stock anywhere, so I bought two sets, one with a green in and one with the reds and the clay and the rust colour. You could get away with really just buying two, depending on what colour brown you wanted your paper clips and a green. I would recommend a darker green than I've purchased. I got the emerald. So I also purchased the glaze, and it's an extender as well as a sealer. So I quite like that it makes them go a bit further and not quite so, well, they are very colourful. I've not used them without this. So what I do, I squirt a little bit of this in my bag. I've got no idea about ratio. I just squirt until I get the colour that I'm happy with. Squirt them in. I'm going to use, which one did I use? Right, I used clay, I think, in this lot. And the idea is, I'll give you a little tip. Squirt in a small amount and then give your bag a little shake about, because one, these go a lot further than you think they're going to go, and two, the colour is quite different than you think it's going to be. So at the moment, although I had some colour in my... We have actually quite a nice orangey rust colour. So that is going to be enough. I'm not going to put in any more of that. You can mix your oranges. I've done the first batch because it was my first experiment. I was just putting in colour left, right and centre and just seeing what happened. The green, I'm going to put in the tiniest amount, little teeny bit. I mean, I was actually getting my hands in and mixing it all with the glove before. Give that a shake. It's obviously a lot easier when you've got a... No, I think I need a little bit more green in there. Not much. Before you know it, you just have a green bag full. Simple as that. It goes a long way, this stuff. And here we go. Right, can you see? I'm starting to get just a little hint of green here and there, but mostly brown. And that's what I want. So I'm going to leave that as it is. I'm now going to call that bag done. So just going to seal it. Okay. I'll just show you this bag. These are probably slightly more, can't remember what they look like now, even though it's only 5 minutes ago. These are slightly more orange, probably a little bit too much ink in there, or pigment. I'm going to seal this bag. There's certainly a lot of stuff in this bag. It's going to take a while to dry. Excuse me. Sorry. Ooh. That's what happens when you try to stop a sneeze. Now, I'm going to spread these out in the bag, and I'm going to go and put them outside. Okay, and I will leave them. Oh, you can see I've done a bulldog clip in that one. A few bulldog clips. I'm going to put them out in the sun, and I'm going to leave them 3 or 4 hours. What happens is the metal kind of dries up quite well, but the bag is still going to stay probably quite wet. So what I did with the last lot is I left them 3 or 4 hours, and then I emptied them onto a piece of cardboard box, and I left them out flat again to dry, and then that was it. It's actually amazing because I ended up with lots of like rust looking bits and pieces on the cardboard. So I'm going to put these out to dry, and we'll be back in a very short time for you, but a few hours for me, to do the reveal. So I'm sorry I didn't manage to film the first one quite so successfully, but it's exactly the same that I've done this time round. Look at those. Don't they just look so yummy? Just brilliant. Okay, so I will be back very soon. Hello again. I actually went out after about an hour, and it's really warm outside today. So I emptied them onto this piece of cardboard, and they are already dry. So what is it? Under 3 hours, 2.5 hours, something like that. So these are how the set we did on the video turned out, and I really like these. Really hope you can see. These are quite a nice mix of the brown and the green, little bits of colour in those. Very nice, very nice. And this is the bit that I was saying about, you get these little, it's almost like real rust, where the little pieces of paint. So obviously they're going to take a little bit of unattaching, but that's fine, I can do that. But they're got nice bits of silver still showing through. So I really like this. These turned out really well. So I'm going to slide this over. This is the batch I had done first. Well, it was originally 2 bags. I really, really like how these have turned out. They are a bit of a green colour. I quite like this effect where you've had another paper clip attached to that. Little bits, just gonna obviously, got little bits of paint that was stuck in the holes. They look so cool. They do look really cool. I've got plans for these too, so that just looks so much more interesting, doesn't it, than that silver. So they're really cool. I like those. The paper clips are darker, but that's good because you're going to have different kind of effects. What I might do is put these back in the bag and give them a good shake to get knock all the odd bits of paint off. There's a little one. I think they're brilliant. And then what I also have is I'm just gonna, this one's got quite a lot of green inside that, so that's really interesting. That would be cool on a nature journal. I like the texture. I like that it's not smooth anymore. Right, I'm gonna spin this around because after the video I did some keys as well as yet more paper clips, as you can see, and also some of the little rings that keys come on, because I just thought they'd be fun to try. But I chucked the keys in the bag and gave them a good shake about like I did with the others. These ones have got slightly more individual green bits in, because what I did with this batch is I put everything in the bag and used the browns and you know, gave it a shake, and then I just put a few drops of green in and I didn't mix it very much, and that's when I've got this green piece on the key. So I'm just going to have a little quick experiment. That's really cool. It's actually stuck. There we go. But that would look good, wouldn't it? Oh, look at that. Oh, I like that a lot. So I'm going to have a little experiment now and just see what happens if we try and take some of this paint off again. That's much better without the green. You can tell I've been outside because now I can't breathe. Oh, cool. I really like it. Like it a lot. Just taking little bits of that around the edge, maybe a little bit off the side, leaving a bit of that green. Just like, I don't know if you can see, just taking a little bit around the edge. Just makes them so much more interesting, doesn't it? I like that one as it is, actually. It's got a little bit of green around the bottom of that one. I mean, you could spend time with a paintbrush. I like that one, actually, that side as it is. You could spend time with a paintbrush and just applying the paint or the patina where you want it. But I quite like the idea of chucking it in a bag. I mean, if I show you, so, you know, we've gone from something like that to something like that. Although I do think silver keys do look great used as well on charms, especially if you're using silver chain and silver silver elements. I don't want to take too much of that off. I really like that. There we go. Anyway, keys and lots and lots of paper clips. So I won't need to do any more for a while. You can definitely see the different tones depending on the different, these are much more orange and these are much more brown with a bit more green in. But, you know, they've all got a place, haven't they? I think that it's fabulous. So thank you, Andrea, for yet another brilliant idea. I will see you soon. Bye.